Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Julie. Nice coming here on this platform.
Thank you so much for taking out the time to being on this platform. Welcome to Emerging Trends.
Thank you so much.
So, do you want to tell us about what exactly you're doing and how your journey started?
So, I run a boutique matrimonial in the name of Sadaiv Rishte, which is pan India and global.
Okay.
How I started it was that I have been a foreign exchange marketing consultant for the past 15 years.
Okay.
And, I was getting tired of doing marketing, going from corporate to corporate. So, decided to take a break. In the meantime, I was very actively involved in many organizations, and because of my connections, friends, children, I tried to do some matchmaking for them, and it worked. So
Okay.
there were friends who said that why don't you take this up as a profession? And
Right.
that's how Sadaiv Rishte was born in June 2017. It's a
Okay.
boutique matrimonial, and I do a very limited number of, I don't have a big data bank, but yes, I do quality stuff. Thank you.
So, do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about the Indian side of the matrimonial? Because I there are a lot of dating sites in the world, and you know how the Indian culture responds to the families and how the matchmaking is done, just for their understanding.
So in India, definitely our culture, it is not just the boy and the girl that get married. It's basically a marriage with the families.
Right.
So we usually see that we always want to see the lifestyle, the culture, the various aspects of a family that matches with the other family.
Right.
Then only can we look into it, because there are so many things, even like vegetarian and non-vegetarian family. There are things like education abroad, and there are some families who have been just basically studying here. So like there are many aspects that we have to look into, even the lifestyle. I always feel that the girl has to adjust well in the family of the boy. So we have to see to it that the boy and the girl have similar kind of lifestyles, where they both don't need to compromise. We don't even want the girl to compromise and the boy to compromise.
Yeah, very true. It's absolutely true. That's culturally has been very prevalent in India.
So it is
So,
quite different from the western part of the world, because they all live separately. They are not living in families, and they basically see to education and their wavelength matching. Of
right.
course, we also see to the wavelength matching, but there are many other aspects that we see in the Indian society.
Very true. So tell us what are the challenges you faced during the pandemic and post pandemic?
During the pandemic, in the first lockdown, I had a bit of a problem in the sense I was not getting many phone calls. I think people were really scared, and they were still getting used to the pandemic.
Right.
So they were getting adjusted to their lifestyle.
Right.
But in the second lockdown, I could see that, I'm getting a lot of phone calls because the families were together. There was a lot of bonding happening in the families, and there was a lot of discussion happening in the families about the boy getting married, the girl getting married, when sometimes the parents didn't have so much time to discuss all these things.
Right.
So there was a lot of discussion, and again there's always been how to, usually the boys and girls used to have a chance of meeting at parties, at social gatherings, but all this has suddenly stopped. So
Right.
this coming to marriage counseling, marriage matchmaking became a little important aspect in everybody's lives.
Right.
So that is where I did start getting a lot of phone calls in the second lockdown, and it's been a great journey so far.
Okay. So can we talk a little bit about the long term challenges your organization? I know it's been a little young setup for you, but still, what are the long term challenges you will see post pandemic, and what are your thoughts on it?
The challenges that we usually face right now are, actually the boy and the girl, they start a conversation. So that is not an issue, because we can manage that. But when it comes to meeting somebody post pandemic, that has become a big problem. Like if it's in the one city, now that things have opened, it's easier. But like if we have to go from one city to the other, it's, you know, there are so many restrictions in other cities that it gets very difficult for them to go. Again, there is a isolation time, and you know, there are many other things factors, so it is very difficult. So these things are becoming very difficult even globally. Like right now what is happening globally is that they prefer that I find them a suitable candidate only from their country. Right. It wasn't so at one time, because they wanted Indian girls and Indian boys from India too. But right now, because they can't meet, it's very difficult, and they don't know when it will happen. Everything is so uncertain. So the preference has changed to their own country candidates.
Yeah. So Indian community cross-culturally would be a challenge for a long time.
Cross-culturally would be a challenge right now. And of course, certain visa rules, you know, residential status rules, all have also taken there's been a great change in all those things, which has suddenly brought kind of a halt to that intercultural matchmaking.
Yeah. So tell us, you know, from your business perspective, where do you see yourself in another 5 years?
In another 5 years, I would say that, yes, I expect a good growth. I have been doing decently well right now, and I hope that people understand that this is a very small database, boutique matrimonial that I'm working on. But yes, I definitely see to a lot of things like doing home visits, knowing the candidate personally, talking to the family, knowing their preferences about everything, eating habits, leisure preferences, you know, their hobbies, different interests, and then only I try to match make, even if I have many other candidates, but only if they match, I send to them. So that has been my forte in this whole journey so far.
So tell us, since you're talking about globally, which are the countries you reached out to? Because I think Gujaratis are spread all over the world, and mainly you work with Gujarati Indian parents. So which are the countries you work with?
So I worked with USA, East Africa, right. London, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore.
Oh, okay.
So it's been, yes, I've been doing a lot so far. It's been happening, and even Europe, actually a part of Europe too.
Yeah. And any other countries which comes into your mind in another 5 years? Where would you like to be?
Yeah, so Australia is in my mind. Right. And even the other, like Hong Kong. I have been working with Hong Kong too, but more on the Southeast Asian region, because that's closer to India. And of course, more so, the more the work is towards, of course, United Kingdom and USA. So, and Canada too.
And Canada, yeah, Canada has a very large
Canada has a large Indian population. Yes.
So thank you so much for taking out this time. I'm sure that you're extremely busy, but thank you for taking out time and being on this platform. If you're new to my channel and you're reviewing this for the first time, we have amazing women like Nandita, who's running a matrimonial, which is a boutique matrimonial called Sadaiv Rishte on this platform. And they will inspire you to start your own businesses on a similar platforms. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you very much.